your ambition is matched by the club. And as you said, they are set up to be challenging on a number of fronts, as they are at the moment, for a good while to come yet. And a lot of that squad that you said they've assembled have plenty more years left in the tank.
Yeah, it's a young squad. It's a young squad, and as I said, it's a squad, in my opinion, that can compete for a long time. But I just think the most important bit that Arsenal are getting right is the chemistry. Because I think, yes, they've made a lot of signings in recent years, but they are keen to give young players an opportunity, and I think that's so important, because having come through the other side of North London, I know that actually it's important to have, you know, homegrown players, home-based players in the dressing room.
Well, let's move on from Bukayo Saka to this man, David Raya, into the final 3 months of the season. So much on the line for Arsenal. They lead the way in the Premier League. They're in the League Cup final, the 5th round of the FA Cup and the last 16 of the Champions League as well. Their goalkeeper, David Raya, has been speaking to Gail Davis. And on top of it all, he's about to become a dad for the first time too.
David, there are moments in life where it feels like they could be defining. Next sort of few weeks, months of yours feel pretty big, don't they, right now? And I'm not just talking a quadruple as a possibility, but also a dad. So you must be waking up every single day and just thinking, wow, life's pretty good right now.
Yeah, I think obviously that with becoming a dad in the next few weeks is incredible. We can't wait. But of course, in terms of football, is everything is open. We cannot think too much about it. We just have to be focused on ourselves and go day by day, training by training, game by game, which is the most important thing. Because if you think too far, you're not going to see it. So just go in the present.
As a group of players, you've clearly got quite a close bond, and you've been through similar things at the same time. It must help you in your kind of day-to-day and being a kind of brotherhood, if you like, having a bit of a bond together. Yeah,
the whole squad bond together. We are literally like friends and teammates at the same time. So it makes it so easy for everyone and for everything in life, not just on football, it's just outside as well. Like you can go with whoever you want to go to do some other stuff outside of football. So I think that's a really key thing that we have in our dressing room.
Is this the closest kind of dressing room you've ever been a part of? Because that Brentford team was very special with what you did there, and obviously your first taste of first team football. Blackburn is different again, but how does this kind of compare?
I've been lucky to have really good dressing rooms. The dressing room I had at Blackburn was incredible. And at Brentford as well, but I think this one is a different, especially having that many nationalities and the way we interact to each other is not like groups or anything like this. Obviously you maybe I speak more maybe with the Spanish speakers and stuff like this, but you get along with everybody, and it's something special to have it this way. And I think it's credit to the boss and credit to the staff to create this culture of the club, that we all get along, not even just with the players, the staff as well. It's all involved, so it's really important, and it's a key thing.
Do you think part of it as well is that you know that you are on the verge of doing something very special here?
Yeah,
which hasn't been done for a long time.
I think having those goals together, and how good it could be if we made this a historical season, it'll be incredible. That's why we play football, that's why we play for Arsenal, that's why everybody comes here to win trophies, to make something special, and to make the fans happy and the club happy. So that is something that is really important for us, and that, like I said, that's why we play for Arsenal.
That's a nice little ball inside, Minte! Oh! That is something very special. David Raya at full stretch. That is magnificent, and it's kept Arsenal's nose ahead.
I think confidence is the most important thing in this sport, and confidence and enjoyment. I think for me is the most important thing to be a footballer. You have to be confident and you have to enjoy, because if you don't enjoy, you're not going to be yourself. You're not going to be able to help the team the way if you are enjoying the football. So I think that confidence is going to be key for us to have that confidence. Everyone needs to be confident to know what they're doing, and the main thing is enjoy the process. Don't think too much ahead and just enjoy the moment of now.
It's a big week again. Wolves, I mean, you've got an idea of what awaits you because they made you work very hard. I think 94th minute own goal.
We know it's going to be a tough task. They made it very, very difficult for us at the Emirates, so we need to learn from that game. A lot of things to learn from there, but I think we are a different team now than where we were back then. So hopefully we can do the right things and get the 3 points, but we know how hard it's going to be.
And just finally, because it is Wolves and then the North London derby, isn't it? And at the first game, and it was sensational, and that's part of this ride, isn't it? For all the highs, there were lows and the highs again. And Arteta said, you know, get in the boat, like enjoy every second. I mean, it feels at times it's quite pressurised to be able to do that, but you're obviously one of those in the squad that can shut out that noise and just not play within yourself and with the fear of what might not happen given the last few years, as opposed to what could happen.
If you play with that fear, you cannot play football. Because, like I said before, you're not going to enjoy the moment. You're not going to enjoy being on the grass. And we know how important it is to the North London derby for the club and for the fans. So hopefully we can do our things, play the way we know what we can play and what we can do, and hopefully replicate what we did at the Emirates at their place on Sunday. But it's going to be a tough task, as it is every game in this league is so difficult and so competitive. That is going to, like you said, is a little bit of a roller coaster every season. So hopefully we can get the 3 points, and that's the main thing.
Well, it's interesting there that he started, Stephen, talking about the fact that he's going to become a dad for the first time. You wonder whether things like that, given the scenario Arsenal find themselves in, that bit of perspective and the reminder that whilst it is really important to try and win loads of trophies, there are more important things out there too, will be quite useful for him in the coming months.
Yeah, I think it will look like the perspective, as you mentioned. It also just puts it into context. You know, you've got a family there. You're going to become a father. What a time to be David Raya. I mean, he's going to be a father. He's going to maybe win the Premier League, maybe win the Champions League. We've got 2 domestic cups as well that he's playing for. He's on track to win the Golden Glove. Listen, it's a great time to be David Raya, but he's worked hard for that. You know, I remember a few years back when he first went into Arsenal, there was a lot of question marks. I was one of them, if I'm honest. I felt Ramsdale at the time was doing well, but Arteta trusted in him, and he's more than repaid the favour. So it's a fantastic time for David Raya, and we saw one of the saves there. Listen, he's an outstanding keeper, and he can play with his feet, so he's got it all.
One of the things that struck me is the amount of times that he used the word enjoyment there, and that is the key for Arsenal, it feels, in the coming months, is that they cannot allow themselves to be burdened by the expectation, and they have got to try and embrace what should be one of the most exciting periods of their footballing careers.
Yeah, he spoke a lot, didn't he, about enjoying the moment. I think the moment is so important for Arsenal, not looking too far ahead, not looking back also, because they do look back at recent years. They've had a troubled end to the season in recent years. So I think moving forward for Arsenal, it's just about day at a time, one game at a time. You know, up next, they've got Wolves. That's what they'll be focused on. They're trying not to get too far ahead of himself, because you know, that could just bring the nerves, the pressure, and there's already enough outside noise. We do a good job of making the outside noise, so for them it's about...
Put me out of a job if we didn't keep talking about the outside noise and putting a bit of pressure onto them. But I suppose from someone who's been at the other end of the Premier League, that's the other thing you would say if you were talking to Arsenal players is it's good pressure. You know, when you're fighting relegation, you're probably, I don't know whether you are thinking about, oh, people might lose their jobs if we go down, or so-and-so is going to leave the club, would have to take a pay cut. Whereas this is all good opportunity for Arsenal moving forward.
Yeah, it's certainly the right end of the table. When you are at the bottom, you just go and ask Nottingham Forest, Spurs looking over their shoulder, West Ham right now. It's so much pressure, you know, as you mentioned, their staff, jobs are at stake. There's so much at stake. For the top of the table, There's still a lot at stake. There's still a lot of pressure, fan pressure, family pressure as well. Of course, everyone wants the pressure you put on yourself because you all want to win. But it's definitely about enjoying it. If you can't enjoy being at the top of the Premier League, having all 4 trophies still at stake, then when will you enjoy those moments as a footballer? So I think David Raya is a wise man. He seems, for his age as well, he's not an old man, but he's speaking very wise and very mature. So a pleasure to hear him speak there.
Defensively superb this season, Arsenal. As a centre-back, how much confidence did it give you to have a goalkeeper who you entirely trusted in every sense? You talked about his saves, his distribution, to have that behind you. Does that give you an extra few percent?
Yeah, definitely. Having a goalkeeper you can trust, a goalkeeper that speaks, you can hear him, they speak English well. So it's always important that you have that communication with your back four and particularly your centre-halves. He's a keeper that can pull saves out of nowhere, dig you out of trouble. He's quick off his line. I think he's a goalkeeper that really has it all. Whilst not being the tallest of goalkeeper, he seems to have a presence whenever he's in goal for Arsenal. So the biggest thing I can give him, the biggest compliment I think when I watch him play is he's resilient. You know, he makes mistakes as every player does. And with a goalkeeper, the unfortunate thing is you make a mistake, you pay the price, the ultimate price. But he's so resilient. He'll still get the ball out the back of the net and go again. And I think that's really important to have that character within your dressing room and within a title-chasing side.
How much work in training or conversations after training, analysis meetings, would you do as a defensive unit that would include defenders but also the goalkeeper?
It's an interesting question, actually, because mostly we'll focus on the defence. It's almost like the keepers come separate. You know, they come second to that. They do the training on their own. They train with the goalkeeper coach. There is actually quite a big gap between us at times, but I feel football's evolving so much. Keepers are playing more and more now with the ball at their feet. They're becoming like players. So they do have a lot more involvement now in the sessions. And I think when you are doing unit training, the goalkeeper now is almost always involved because building that relationship is for me, is the most important thing. Understanding each other, knowing that, you know what, I know that David Raya likes to come in this position because as a centre-half, it's nothing worse. The ball's over your head and you're not sure if your goalkeeper's coming. With him, you know he's coming.
It amazes me sometimes as well because you see a ball go over the top in an Arsenal game and you think, oh, that's going into an interesting area. And he's there. And maybe that is an adaptation from when you first started playing the game where there would have been some who like to come off their line, whereas now, I mean, he is one of, you can count, so Alisson is so comfortable doing it, Edison was so comfortable doing it, you could go right down the Premier League, that all keepers seem to be almost an ancillary centre-half at times with the way they come up and join in play passing, but also come and stop attacks forwards.
Yeah, I feel a bit unfortunate, actually, looking back. I never caught that era as much as I would have liked to, where goalkeepers are coming off the line. And I think, as a defender, it's great because you know you can go that little bit higher, you can creep that little bit higher, go that little bit tighter to the forward, knowing that if he does spin and get in behind, it has to be almost the inch-perfect ball because anything that's slightly over here, your goalkeeper's there to cover you.